Hi there, Johnny here. So in today's video I want to show you how to install GNS3 on Linux. In this case it's going to be a Debian 12 desktop machine. So I ran into a lot of issues and humps and bumps when installing this. So I'm just going to go over all the issues I had and then what I did to fix them. Okay, so the first step to do is to just do an apt update to make sure your packages, your repositories are all up to date. So you can see mine's fine. Now the next command that it tells you to run to install all the dependencies, you'll see that we have our first issue. So it cannot find Dynamips. So what we can do is just remove that from the command and then rerun it. Now this will install all the dependencies. We'll go back and fix that specific library next. Now please note that this does take a very long time. Okay, next, to fix that issue or the error, what we need to do is just use wget to download the package for Dynamips. I'll leave this in the description, and then once we have downloaded that package we can install it manually. Now the next step is to install the server. Okay, what we need to do is, since it is not in our path, the variable, we can just copy what it tells us to. So this will just add it to our path. We'll then go and install the client side, the GUI. Once that is done, we'll follow the next step. So we'll just copy and paste it. Yeah, now you'll see if we try to launch it, it won't launch because the path variable has not taken place. So we can just close the terminal and open it again. And when we run it now, it should start it. Okay, so we'll quickly go over the initial setup. Since the server is on this computer, we'll just run it as a local. Okay, we can leave the defaults as is, so it's a local host since we're on the same PC, and then the path directory is correct. It will find it for you automatically. Then we can just go next and then finish. Okay, now that it's installed, there were also a lot of hiccups. So the first hiccup is when we try to add, for example, a cloud or NAT node, we get an error showing that the virtual BR0, so the virtual bridge, is not running and that we need to install libvirt. However, if we check the original steps when installing GNS3, you'll see that it is included. So it is definitely installed. The issue ended up being that the default network profile is saved as under the roots folder or the root home folder. So all you have to do is run this command as root, and it will then start the network. You only have to do this once. The next issue I had was it was complaining about a VPCS path. So searching it, this specific dependency was not installed with the initial installation. So just running apt install VPCS, it solves half of the problem. So now if we open our project again, you will see it now complains about the version mismatch. So it wants VPCS version 0.61 instead of 0.8. But what we will do is we will rebuild the library or the dependency so that it works on 0.8. So just searching again, I came up to the GNS3 blog post or forum post with a nice solution to the issue. So I'm just going to follow these steps to get it to build. Yeah, so step 1 is we're going to download the source code of VPCS. Once it is downloaded, we can extract it. Okay, and when you open a terminal in that folder, now the next thing we need to do is just cd into the source file or source folder. And then we can build it by doing mk.sh. Okay, once it is built, in the source file, you should see a file called VPCS now. What we have to do is copy that to the user bin directory. So we can just remove the original version that is there by doing sudo rm and then user bin VPCS. And then we can do a sudo cp to copy the one we just built back into the USR bin folder. Okay, now we can open up our project again and try run it. And now all our errors are gone. Okay, I'm going to quickly go over how to create an OpnSense and then an Ubuntu node. So what we can do is click on the new template option and it will open a window. From here you can see that GNS3 has a lot of devices it supports. So yeah, you can take a look at all the devices at your own leisure. If we go under firewalls and we scroll down, we should see an OpnSense node. You can click next. You can click next. Now what we have to do is download the image that we want to use. In this case we want to use the latest, so 24-1. So with it selected, we will click on the download button and this will open up the page where we can download it. Now you can see there's different versions. You just need to make sure you download the correct one. So it wants the nano version. So we can choose that and download it. Once it's downloaded, we need to extract it. Yeah, once it's extracted, we can then go import and then we will open that image file. It will then upload it and then add it to the GNS3 server. Yeah, once it's done, you can see that it says ready to install. We can select it, click next, and then once we are happy with it, we can click finished. It uses the default username and password, so when we set it up, we'll just use that. Cool, so we can easily drag and drop it. And I'll just do quick connections to it. Once that is done, you need to just right click on it and go to its properties and then just change the console type to Spice Agent. From there we can start it, and then if we connect to it, we should get a console of it. Once it is started, we can just do the initial setup on it. The nice thing I like about GNS3 versus EVNG is that you can add and remove connections on the fly, whereas with EVNG you had to stop each device before you could change the connections. Yeah, so we'll log on with root and then OpnSense, and I'm just going to assign the interfaces. Oh, we're all done and good to go. Now what I want to do is show you how to create an Ubuntu node. So we'll follow the steps again. So under guests we will see there's Ubuntu option. So I'm going to use the Ubuntu desktop guests, and we'll do the same thing. So select on the version we want, choose download. Now for this it wants the VMware disk. So if we take a look, we'll see it wants the VMDK file. So under VMware there's the VMDK file. We'll download that version. Okay, once it's downloaded, we'll extract it again. We'll then go and import that. Please note that it did complain that the checksum was incorrect. So usually when that's not matching, you should be very wary, just in case you downloaded a file that is indeed incorrect or you don't know what has happened to it. But in this case, I'm not too stressed about it, so I'm just going to continue using that. Okay, it kept saying the file was missing, so all I had to do was click back and then click next again, and then it popped up showing as ready to install. From there we could click next and then choose finish. And I'll do the same. In the properties we'll change it to Spice and then agent for the console. We can then start the node. Yeah, once it's started, so the password is the osboxes.org. And now, as you can see on the top right of the Ubuntu node, we do not have internet. So what we're going to do is just log into the OpnSense node from here, and we will quickly do a setup. So I'll log in using root and then OpnSense. So I'm just going to go through the wizard, and you can just follow in all these steps. So I'm just going to use 888 and then 111 as my DNS servers. Now a very important thing is to make sure that the block private networks or the bogon networks are unticked, otherwise you won't have internet, since we're using private IP for the internet. Now once it is done, we can open up Google, and there we go, we now have internet. Okay, even though we've got internet, you can see that the Ubuntu is still showing a question mark at the top. All we have to do is just go into the network settings, disable and re-enable the connection, and you'll see it will fix that error. So this was just a quick tutorial on showing you how to set up GNS3 on a Debian machine or on Linux. If this video helped you, please consider liking and subscribing. I would appreciate it. It will help grow the channel. And then until then, I'll see you in the next one.